Elisha on Mount Carmel, remember, erected an altar and prayed a 63-word prayer. Amen. As they stood back, fire fell from heaven and consumed the sacrifice. It consumed the altar. It consumed everything around, and God was on the spot. And the people cried out, "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." I'm telling you, church, you know this, but I'm going to remind us again. If God has to show up in the middle of us and perform a miracle, amen, He'll do it. Amen. He's good about doing those things. He'll show up anywhere that people are believing God, and there'll be a miracle take place. We must never discount God. Why? The 4 leprous men sitting at the entering of the gate, amen, they said, "Why sit we here till we die?" There was a famine throughout the land. Amen. They were locked outside of the city. They could not go in. But they said, if we stay here, we're going to die. If we go into the city, maybe we're going to die. But there's one thing about it. We're not going to sit here till we die. We're going to get up and start marching. You know the story very well. As they got up and started marching toward the city, God turned up the big amplifier. Oh, He can do it, church. He turned up the amplifier, and those on the inside thought there were a great large number of army coming after them, and they left the city. They left everything, their food and everything. Guess what happened? The 4 leprous men just walked inside, amen, and just sit down at the tables and began to eat, amen, till they were stuffed. Why? Because God said to them, if you trust me, if you believe me, I'm not going to let you die. I'm not going to let you starve to death. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make a way where there is no way. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been to places where it looked like there was no way, but God has made a way. Aren't you glad tonight that God can do it? He's still in the business tonight. I think about the little woman with an issue of blood. The Bible said for 12 long years she tried many physicians, but she was nothing better, but she grew worse. But listen to me, she heard about Jesus. Faith cometh by what? Hearing comes by what? She heard about Jesus. Oh, she said, if I could just get to where He's at, if I could touch the hem of His garment, I believe I would be made whole. You know the story. As she came, they were thronging Jesus, and as she began to push her way in and push her way around, finally she got to where Jesus was. And the Bible said she reached out and she touched the hem of His garment. And the Bible said she felt in her body she was healed of that plague. All of a sudden, Jesus asked the question, who touched me? And the disciples said, Lord, you see the multitude thronging thee, and you ask who touched me? He said, somebody touched me. I felt virtue go out of me. She came trembling, fell at His feet, and began to speak to the Lord. He said, thy faith hath made thee whole.